Hi everybody and welcome back. So today we're going to just run the freeze dryer for a bit. So this video will take place over 2 days. I will start it today and then we will do the results tomorrow. You will see it all in just a few short minutes. For me it's going to take a bit. What we're freeze drying today is a dill Jeff found. So we have big can of Heinz pickle spears. He found that at Ollie's for $2.99, but we got 15% off. And then this dill relish. Basically, dill relish is just chopped up pickles if you don't know. So, chopped up pickles. And he found this at Dollar Tree. So, $1.25 for this big can of relish. We cannot go through all this relish. So Jeff already opened them, took some out to put in the mason jars for us to use right now. I'm going to freeze dry the rest so that we have it for whenever we decide we need it. The trays we're using, we have the medium Harvest Right freeze dryer, and we just put down a piece of parchment paper. It helps cleaning the trays easier. It's just one piece of parchment paper cut in half. That takes care of 2 trays. The medium freeze dryer takes 4 trays. So we're just going to put these onto the trays, stick it in the freeze dryer. So let's get started. Okay, so silly me, forgot to hit record when I was putting the pickle spears out. But those are the pickle spears on the trays. I don't know why I didn't hit record. But these are all offcuts. As you can tell, they're not perfect by any means, but they still taste like pickles. And so either the machine was off on the cut, as you can see the machine didn't cut it right, or it's misshapen in general, but you know, cucumbers don't grow perfect. So there's the spears. I drained all the juice off of the spears, and I'm going to save that for one of my kids who loves pickle juice. And for the dill relish, I am going to drain this. There's not a lot of juice, but I don't want the extra juice on the trays. I'm going to smush it down, get as much of the juice out as I can. Now, we've never done pickle relish before. We've done pickle chip, the slices, never the spears. So this is all new for me. So we're going to hope this comes out right. Alright, so we're just going to smear this on the trays. Okay, I'm going to get this put on these trays. Bear with me while I make a mess and probably overload these trays. Again, this is just dill relish. This is not sweet relish. This is just chopped up pickle. Yep, making a mess. Told you I would. Yep, probably overloading the trays. Get every single bit of that off there. Not like to waste anything except for the mess that I laid down. It's not over the lip of the tray. It should still freeze dry pretty well. If not, then we've learned our lesson and we know what not to do next time. So all we did was we hit the start button so that it starts cooling. We gotta wait 15 minutes before we put our pickles in. Okay, it's been 15 minutes. It says low trays in the freeze dryer and close the drain valve. Undrain the valve. Right back there. We got it closed. Now I'm really hoping these come out good. Only because, well, one, I hate to waste food. And if you don't know how freeze drying works, there's a lot of scientific stuff to it, but in the simplest form, it takes out the water. That's all it does, is take out the water. So any seasonings you have in your foods, salts, anything like that, it all stays just at a higher concentration because, like for instance, the pickles, it's going to take the water out, but all that flavoring, the vinegar, the salt that makes a cucumber a pickle will still be there. So if you eat them freeze-dried, they're very salty, crispy, fun to eat. But all you have to do is reconstitute them, which is just adding water. And then they are right back to where they are today. Whether it be 2 months from now, 2 years from now, 20 years from now, they're going to taste exactly the same, and they hold all the nutritional benefits as your food does when it goes into the freeze dryer. 97%. So, most the nutritional value. So, I'm going to finish putting these in. Okay, we're all loaded up. We just have to turn and tighten the door. Hit continue. And it's freezing. Okay, so first thing it's going to do is it's going to freeze everything, and then the vacuum pump will kick on, and that's when the freeze drying starts. It's going to be a while. Could be 24, 36, 48 hours. Whichever. When it's done, I will bring you along and we will check it out to see if it's all done. If it's not, we'll add some more dry time. If it is, I'll let you know how it tastes and how it came out. Stick with us. Okay, and we're back. So, we had a hiccup. During the course of our drying, it got through the freezing process just fine. Froze everything really well. And then we had a vacuum failure. And we determined that was because it got to 25 to 27 degrees overnight down here. It got too cold. And what happened was the pump couldn't keep up with how cold it was in here. Cooler temperatures are nice for the freeze dryer, but not cold. And we ended up with condensation in our oil, and it caused the pump to fail. So we started draining the oil, and so we're cleaning it, and it looks pretty good, but you can see there's this green tint to it, and I think that's from the pickles. But we were able to get everything fixed. Everything was still frozen. We put it in the freezer while we ran some tests on it, got everything good, and so we're finished. Now, they don't look pretty, but the pickles, they're dry. Let me grab some gloves. I'll be right back. So let me show you these ugly things. But just because it's ugly doesn't mean it's not going to taste good. So this is a freeze-dried pickle spear. Does not look very pretty, but I am going to taste it. That's the pickle. Whew, it's salty. I like it. Makes for a really good treat. Now, the pickle relish, if you can see, it just looks like pickled snow. So this will work really well. We can reconstitute this by putting it in water, and once it's reconstituted, it'll be just like the pickle relish it was when we put it on. So we'll be able to use it on hot dogs and other things in the future. Any recipe we have, like potato salad or a pasta salad that has pickles in it, this will be perfect. So we're going to get this bagged up. We're going to put the powdery pickle relish into some small bags because we're not going to use a whole lot at one time. And then the pickle spears, we're going to put some in a small bag because my daughter is dying to try them, and the rest we're just going to put in a big bag, and we'll reconstitute them later if I don't eat them all as a snack. Probably going to turn into a snack though. So I'm going to get them bagged up and we'll show you what we end up with. So we keep our oxygen absorbers in an airtight container, and out of habit we just double seal it nice and tight. So we ended up getting 9 small bags of pickle relish, all around about ½ ounce. I don't think we'll need this much when we reconstitute it, so I've got one set aside that's only 0.3 ounces. I'm going to reconstitute that for you just to show you how it comes out. I'm going to let these sit overnight to make sure that our oxygen absorbers are working good before I open that up. So I will bring you back in the morning and show you how that works. And we're back. So I waited a day or two because I like to see if the oxygen absorbers that we put in the bags are going to work. And for most foods, it'll look like this after a day or two. The oxygen gets sucked up, so it almost looks like we vacuum sealed these. You can, we just don't. If the oxygen absorber is doing its job, there's no need to. But I know a lot of people do, just for the added longevity that it could possibly give to food. We just don't. If you have opinions about that, leave it in the comments below. We'll definitely look into it and do a little more research. But for now, what we're going to do is I'm going to reconstitute some of the relish and just one of the pickle spears for you, just so you can see what it looks like after they reconstitute. The pickle spears are for me for a snack, dried, but I will reconstitute one for you. For the most part, these are just a snack for me. So let's get these juicy back up. Okay, I'm not going to do a lot of this pickle relish. I'll do enough for you to see. Okay, and like I said, I'm just going to do one pickle spear for you. I know they don't look appetizing, do they? But they sure do taste good. Ideally, you would measure the tray, taking the weight of the tray off. You would weigh it and then weigh it again when you take it out of the freeze dryer. Do the math to figure out exactly how much water you want to put into this. But we didn't do that either because I was lazy, or yeah, we'll just go with that. I was lazy and I should have done it and I didn't. But I'm going to add some water to it. I'm going to add probably about a tablespoon of water to the relish and maybe a tablespoon of water to the pickle. If it needs more, it'll be very obvious. If it is too much, it just won't absorb it all. That was way too much. Okay, so I put the pickle upside down, and I know I put too much water in this pickle relish, so I'm going to add more pickle relish to it and make a mess while doing it. Okay, it doesn't happen immediately. It takes a few minutes. So I'm just going to cover it just to keep anything from falling in it, and be right back. Alright, so we let it sit for about 2 minutes. Now you'll notice it's not as vibrant as it would have been before, but before it had the pickle juice. And my daughter said something when she was down visiting about dehydrating the pickle juice. And Jeff and I thought about that. If we could dehydrate the pickle juice and get just the powder from it, then reconstitute the powder and the pickles together. I don't know. What do y'all think? Anyway, so this is how it looks. It's completely back to the way it was, minus the vibrant green color it was. And the pickle spear, it's not cold because it hasn't been in the refrigerator, but we'll try it. Now, I'm not gonna lie, of all the things we've freeze dried, this is probably the one I like the least. Only because they reconstituted what looks like just fine, but the pickle doesn't have that crispness to it. It's chewy. Tastes just like pickle. It's chewy though, and it doesn't have that zing. So missing that pickle juice really, I mean, all it takes out is the water. And so when you put water, it reconstitutes it back, but not having, it's missing some saltiness. Either that or it's because I've been snacking on the freeze-dried ones while the camera was off, and maybe I'm used to that. But let's try the pickle relish. It's missing the vibrancy. Wow. That tastes perfect. Okay, the pickle relish is okay. That tastes good. Sorry. So the pickle relish did okay, but not the spear. Maybe if I dehydrated it. I don't think I'll do spears for long-term storage anyway. Like I said, we were just doing the spears, A, because we got a good deal, and B, they are a fantastic and wonderful snack. I really like them. But the pickle relish came out pretty good. I'm impressed. I didn't think it was going to come out as good as it did. So I'm very happy about that. My only suggestion would be weigh your tray when it goes in, weigh it when it comes out, do the math for how many ounces so you know exactly how much water to add back in. Tell me what you think about dehydrating the pickle juice and getting the powder from it and reconstituting that with the pickles. Not sure if that'll work. So if any of you have tried that, I would love to hear how that turned out. Otherwise, we are done with this little experiment, and I really appreciate y'all coming along. We will talk to you next time. God bless.